Hey guys, Mike here, baseball collector, and we're going to do a little live hanging out tonight. Hanging out with Ray from Philly. Say, what's up, Ray?
What's going on?
So, Ray and I a couple of times have just kind of got together and shot the bull and thought we'd do it again. So, here we are. We'll see how many of you guys start joining in. Oh, Ray's on. That's great. That's good. That's helpful. So, what'd you do today, man? What'd you do?
I went to my LCS.
What'd you do there?
We do a show and tell over there every week, whatever we pick up. There's like 5 of us that hang there. And I brought my K-Line rookie today and my Jim Palmer rookie that I just bought last week. And we just dabble and show what our pickups were for the week and hang out all day.
That's pretty cool.
Snoop Dogg.
I wish I had an LCS that I could do that at, but I don't. So, oh well. What's up, John? And who else is on? Cuban Collector. So,
Snoop.
We got some people on. Okay, so I'm looking this way and my computer's over here. So if I turn, it's because I'm looking at comments because they go so fast on the iPad here that I need to keep up. So it's Old Folks Hour on YouTube. Boy, ain't that the truth. So Ray, tell me about your national experience. Oh wait.
Well, in 2016 it was awesome. Oh, you meant this year.
Yeah, I meant this year, but that's all right. Have you enjoyed watching some of the videos and stuff?
Yeah, they've looked really cool. Yours were good. Micah just did a really cool one, and there was a lot of good footage that I've seen. They were really cool. Really awesome.
Yeah, I have to tell you that the coolest part and very surreal part was meeting so many people from the community that I didn't even know. And it was really funny because they'd come up to me, hey, are you Mike, baseball collector? Yes. And they'd be like, I love your stuff. And they would say 2 things. 1, their favorite videos are the ones with Julie in them. And 2, that most of them aren't even subscribed, you know? So, yeah, you're in charge of answering comments, Ray. I can hear you clicking away. But, you know, when people come up to you and say hi, it's very awesome. Humbling for sure. And I'm thinking, God, do people really enjoy watching us, you know, bearded, bald dudes opening baseball cards? I guess so. Who's Cup Band or Cubend?
It was supposed to be Cuban.
Ah, well, you can't type. So
I can't type, sorry. I'm holding the phone.
No problem. So
okay, now I'm up to date.
So that was really cool. Next year, if you go, we'll have some fun with that. And certainly in 2020, right? No matter what.
Oh, that's already planned my vacation in 2020 for Atlantic City.
It's a long time out to plan your vacation.
Not really. 2 years ago in Atlantic City, that flew by already.
True. So you guys, if y'all have any questions out there while we're talking and shooting the bull, y'all feel free to ask. We'll try to address as many as we can. But we just want to hang out. You guys can talk amongst yourselves as well. But I know one thing I wanted to talk to you about, Ray, and kind of shoot the bull with you about was just this community is just growing so fast, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. It's been a lot of new collectors, too, out there that their collections are awesome.
A ton of them.
A lot of new, too. Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
Like guys like Blue Sky and, you know, Nuff Said. And there's a lot of new guys that have come along this year. And Silver Food Cardboard, and he's got a huge Mana collection. And it's just been a plethora of new tubers out this year. It really just shows you that, you know, the hobby is strong and it's still growing. And just because there's not a card store in every corner like there was in the 80s and 90s doesn't mean that the hobby still ain't strong.
True.
It's definitely strong.
Yeah, there was a a group of guys that had channels 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's kind of this next wave of people from about 2 to 3 years ago, which you and I are a part of that. And now there's this whole another wave. Springfield John asked a great question, by the way, about, let's go back to the National real quick, then we'll talk YouTube community again. So he asked, will the National ever get out of its rotation? And the answer is no, it will not. The reason why is that they have to have a facility that has enough square footage that they can have basically a locked-in time that they do it. They want to do it and have it guaranteed, and they need enough hotel rooms around. And so, yeah, I wish. But Dallas-Fort Worth would totally make sense. St. Louis would make sense. Somewhere in the middle of the country would be very smart. Obviously,
what I don't understand is, why do they only have to have one a year? Like, why can't they do 3 a year? Like, the Philly show's a quarterly thing. It happens every 3 months. They don't do 4, they do 3. But have one, like, one in the spring, you can have it in the West Coast. Then one in the middle of the summer, you could have it central, like the Midwest. And then one towards the end of the fall in the East Coast. This way, people don't have to worry about traveling if it's out in California or if it's out in Chicago. They should do that. I mean, like, I think if they just had 3 national shows a year, I understand why maybe is because they figure once a year can build up a lot of people going, but not necessarily. Maybe there would be even more people coming that lived closer to it.
Maybe.
So if they covered each section of the country, like 3, like West Coast, Midwest, and East, would be great.
Yeah, I guess they do worry about dilution of the people, but there are other card shows. It's not like they're the only ones. It's the only one, but people do make a big deal about the National because it is the National. And oh, by the way, it's the National. It's not plural. There's only one of them, so it's the National. To call it Nationals is like saying it happens often. It's one show, the National, singular. So I always crack up when people, I'm going to Nationals. Like, no, you're not. It's not a swim meet,
Right.
It's, I'm going to Nationals. No, you're going to the National Sports Card Convention. So, would love to see it rotate among. Atlanta would be great. Denver would be cool.
They had it in Baltimore one year. Snoop just mentioned Baltimore, and I do remember they had it in Baltimore one year.
They have, but what's up, Mike? Up North Collectors. And oh my God, there's so many mics in the community. But anyway, let's see. They used to have it. They had it in Dallas-Fort Worth a long time. Yeah, and so many of the dealers are on the East Coast too, Ray. So, there's just a lot of stuff, a lot of factors that go into the National only being in a small rotation of places. I'm shocked they even added Atlantic City. So
actually, that's the 3rd time they've had it in Atlantic City 2 years ago.
Yeah, but it had been like a decade or something, right?
Yeah.
See, but somewhere like, to me, Seattle's never going to happen. Miami's never going to happen because those are so extreme in terms of travel.
Right.
And it'll never be in Boston for the same reason, or New York City, because it's too extreme on the travel end. Because if you're coming from the West Coast, Miami is just, you think, well, it's only 30 or 45 more minutes. Yeah, after a 6-hour flight. It matters. People
the
are just...
first one was 1980. I'm looking at the list. Was in Los Angeles, California. Then they had it in Detroit. Then they had it in St. Louis. Atlantic City, this first time they had it was 1988. Then 2003. And then 2016. But it's mostly, it looks like the city that's dominated has been Chicago. They've had it like, I mean, a lot. They've had it probably 8-9 times already.
And Chicago makes sense. It is relatively centrally located. You've got 2 baseball teams. You've got a big, huge, the Rosemont Center or wherever it is. It's in Rosemont. I can't remember the name of the place. I don't know the name of the place. It doesn't matter. But huge space, lots of hotels around. It's probably the most ideal place. But
it was at the Donald Stevens Convention Center.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm a plethora of information.
What are you, 50-50 on next year going?
50-50 on next year, 1,000% in Atlantic City.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm just looking just from 2010, Chicago, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Next year will be the 5th time since 2010.
Okay.
And Cleveland's had it twice. Baltimore's had it twice. Atlantic City's going to have it 2nd time.
Yeah, so it's moving around a little bit.
A little.
Okay, back to the community, right? So you've got all these people joining into the community, and it's been really, really great. And people doing awesome types of content and different, very special things. And what's up, Joe? Mr. Silver Jackify. We got another Hall of Famer on with us here, Ray.
Oh, Silver Jackify.
Yep. So, all right. Did you watch the video I did with Julie the other day?
Yeah.
So,
dude, that was hilarious.
I thought it was hilarious too. Apparently, and this is the thing I wanted to talk to you about, because you and I both get dislikes on our videos, right? But I think it had 10, 11, 12 dislikes on that video. What the heck, man? Not that I really care. It's actually a badge of honor to get a dislike on a video. In fact, if you want right now, go dislike this thing right here. I don't really care. But if you're gonna dislike a video, at least have the balls to say why you don't like it. Put a comment down and say, this sucked because whatever. I didn't like what you did. I thought it was stupid. I don't care. Just tell us. If you're going to dislike one of our videos, right, Ray? Don't you just want to know?
And yeah, when I first got my dislike, you're like, first of all, you're trying to figure out, why.
Right.
But, like, after we've talked, after several times that happened, you just kind of blow it off and be like, yeah, not everyone's going to like, what you do for whatever reason. My thought process is, if you don't like it, just turn the channel.
Right.
And move on rather than, because it takes a lot of work sometimes, it takes me over an hour because of the editing and stuff like that. And sometimes you do get like a little, hurtful feeling, I guess is the wrong word, because you're like, man, I just spent an hour and 15 minutes doing all this, like, why? But then you get used to it. You're like, whatever. It is what it is. People, for whatever reason, maybe it could be so many reasons why, but I don't even try and figure it out anymore. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I definitely stopped trying to figure it out. But I got texts from guys going, how the heck does this video have so many dislikes are they dislikes or thumbs down or what? I guess they're both, right? But
at the same time, it was a video that got a lot of reaction, whether it was negative or positive. It got 3 or 4 times the amount of likes that it did dislikes.
Sure.
And it got a lot of comments and a lot of views. So, back in, there used to be a lot of artists that would say there's no such thing as bad publicity. There's always good.
All publicity is good publicity.
Good publicity, right.
So my video I posted this morning, the Mantles Showcase, and it's got 49 likes and 0 dislikes. So why aren't those same people, if it's really just they just don't like your stuff, or maybe they genuinely don't like that video. But tell us why. Tell me why. I just want the feedback. I don't mind the dislikes. You're allowed to not like something, but
kind of like how PSA grades their cars when you don't know why they came up with the grade.
So true.
You know, like I know SGC's doing a report now that I saw on Snoop's channel that they're going to be giving you a reason, which is great. You know, like I know Rocky Avelli did something about that. He was talking about, and Snoop was talking about on his show, that SGC now is going to be giving you a report as to why this got a 9 or why this got an 8, and actually describe where they saw the flaws, which is great. I mean, I had a 1991 Bowman Chipper Jones rookie I pulled out of a pack. Not only does the thing look great, it should be a 10, and it came back a 5. Like, to me, a 5, you should see obvious, visible flaws with the card.
Or even creases, or who knows.
Anything. Because a 5, you're going to see something, a soft corner. I mean, the thing was sharp. And that, to me, totally scratched my head. I was like, this definitely should have had a reason. Was it surface issues? Who knows? Something like that just was totally mind-boggling.
Was the East Coast National today? Why didn't you go? I thought you were going, Ray.
I was supposed to go, but then my son got called last night for fall ball tryouts today at 5 o'clock. So I hung out at the LCS till about 4:30, drove over to the field, which is only about 15 minutes away. His regular tournament ended, like middle of July, and fall ball doesn't start till September 20th, but they had to have tryouts today because they want to get an idea of who's going to be playing, because a lot of kids in September are playing football, so they want to try and get an idea of who's going to be playing in fall ball, baseball. So I thought maybe I could get there and back, but it's a 3-hour ride. And I was like, damn it. I couldn't make it. I was so ticked off.
I bet Joe was very disappointed.
Joe was extremely disappointed. He was so ticked off. He was like, you suck. You're a loser.
Man, that was the smartest thing Joe said in a while, for sure. What's up, New York Yanks fan 7 and Zombie Collector? We got all sorts of awesome people. So, okay, so I think we've covered the dislike thing. At the end of the day, we just go, screw it, right? But
yeah.
So, next topic I want to talk to you about. Have you seen the new, or whatever they've put out on PSA about the new jumbo holder they're doing?
Yeah.
For the big stuff?
They look pretty cool.
They do. I'm really excited because I have quite a few items that I need to send. I've wanted to send in and haven't been able to because they didn't. They would give you a full letter on stuff, but never would they encase it, which is kind of part of the point because.
We got a question from Writer84 asking if there's a registry for those.
No. It'll just, whatever it is, will be part of whatever registry. So let me show you an example. Here, I got some stuff. Right here. Let's see. What do I got here? So here's a full, a giant letter that's signed by Larry McPhail, who is a Hall of Famer. Hall of Fame executive from the Reds back in the day.
Yeah, the McPhail family is legendary in baseball.
Right.
It's a long family.
So I need this for my Hall of Famer set. For set registry, I should say. Hall of Famer autograph set registry.
Right.
It has a full letter JSA on the back. So I'm confident it's legit, but I want to get it encased because it's right now in this flimsy, basically an 8x10 top loader.
Right.
So there's an example. Here's another cool one. This is Walter O'Malley. A full letter from him. And again, with
that's awesome.
Full letter JSA. Here's a pretty awesome one. Look at this. Can you tell who that is?
Well, it's backwards.
Oh. damn, I forgot about the backwards thing. It's
Yeah, when you go live, everything's backwards live.
That's right. It's Branch Rickey. And he wrote the letter to Walter O'Malley, which is kind of funny.
Nice.
It's addressed to Walter O'Malley, signed by Branch Rickey. So
nice.
And that's got a full letter JSA too. But I don't know how they would do like this piece here. I've got a piece, and it's got at the top Jimmy Fox, Connie Mack.
Wow.
It's got Kid Nichols, who is a really tough Hall of Famer.
Kid Nichols is extremely tough.
Rogers Hornsby. Tris Speaker's on here somewhere. There he is. Tris Speaker right there. Charlie Gehringer. Paul Wayner, who's really tough. He's the other Wayner brother who died younger. So really cool piece. It's got a full letter as well. But getting something like that encased, I think, is really important. And that's the kind of stuff you can do. And, of course, you can do 8x10 photographs. They'll do that. Joe's asking where his Hall of Fame patch is. Well, Joe,
we're selling it on eBay.
You should have driven to the National. You should have pissed your wife off and just said, screw it, and go to the National. Who was asking about the historic thing?
No, that was Zombie Collector.
What was his question exactly?
He said, what's your most historical piece of baseball memorabilia, guys? It was a general question to the room, I guess, and to us.
So I have something cool here I'll show. It's not like... It's a piece of baseball history. We all saw the Fleer check that I got, but this is a... So one thing that's really cool is player contracts, if you can get those signed. Or get those, they're always signed because they have to be signed. But so this is one from a New York Yankees guy, Warren Rosar. I honestly don't even know if he played in the major leagues, but why it's important is it's signed on the back by William Harridge, who was a Hall of Famer.
Right.
And on the inside, it's signed by Ed Barrow, who is also a Hall of Famer. So it's just kind of a cool... I mean, you can get contracts. They're all over the place on the market, but I have one. That's the only one I have. So, what about you, Ray? What's your biggest piece?
Well, I'm more into cards rather than memorabilia. I mean, I used to have the 500 home run club with breath, but I'm not getting into that. Other than that, it's mostly, I would say, right now I'm finishing up, as we speak, a 1980 Phillies World Series lithograph. There's 34 members on that team, and I'm just getting my 34th and final member this week. And then that'll be coming back to me, and then I'll get signed. I have that. I have a Cal Ripken ball, the night he broke Lou Gehrig's record, signed.
Right. That's a cool piece.
Yeah. And a lot of autographed baseballs and stuff, but mainly it's cards. It's just, that's my focus where it's been mostly is cards rather than the memorabilia items. It's just a little bit too costly when you're going into so much other stuff. I saw 52 Topps mantle for $12,000 today. Joe said, and he thought about it. Why didn't you pull the trigger, Joe?
Hey, why don't we let's just ask him? Why don't we just ask him? Hang on. Hey, Joe, when your phone rings in just a second, answer it.
PSA 1.5. Well, we were thinking about having an investment group. So there's a...
Hold on, Ray. I didn't mean to hang up on you. Let's see if Joe answers his phone.
Hello?
There he is. What's up? Let's get Ray back on here, too. Do I got both of you now?
Yeah.
Ray, check.
Yeah.
Joe, sound check. Where'd he go?
Joe took off, man.
No, he did not. It says he's on the phone. That's weird. think maybe I lost him. Hang on.
Hello?
Hey. Seriously? They both have gone now. Now I don't know what the heck to do. Jeez Louise. Let's call Ray back first because he'll bitch and moan. Technology. Yeah, the 52 tops is not his rookie card.
Hello.
Hello. All right, I'm going to try to add Joe back in. He said call me again. Only he cussed. Hang on a second.
He said call his ass again.
All right, so wait, Ray. I'll be right there. Or I'll be right back, I should say. All right, we'll try Joe again.
Yo!
All right, now wait. Don't hang up when I merge the calls. Don't hang up. Jeez. Hold on.
It's too complicated. I can't do this.
It's really not. Hang on. All right, do I have both of you now?
No.
Oh shit.
Yo!
All right, finally. God, we got our first guest tonight, Ray, shooting the bull. So Joe, tell us about the East Coast
I'm
National.
so angry at Ray for not coming to the East Coast National.
You should be.
I was so bummed when I got the message from Ray. I was already at the National, and I'm like, and I'm waiting and Dave Giuseppe won. I thought he was coming too.
Yeah, I got the message from Dave on Thursday afternoon. Couldn't make it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm just falling apart by the seams. Then me today, I was like, oh God. It's one of them few days, I tell you. But, so Joe sold a 52 mantle for $12,000.
Yeah. I thought about it. It was a little, it was like, that's the problem is like, if you want a 52 mantle, it's like, you know, even for $12,000, it looked like somebody had like taken it and stomped on it on the ground, you know?
Yeah.
It looked horrible.
I'm sure it did for a 1.5. It looked like you probably got run over by a truck.
Right, it did. But you know, that is, I think somebody mentioned, what is your dream item? For me, 52 top mantle, I mean, as a Yankee fan, that's got to be my number one item.
Absolutely. I mean, I know it's not the rookie card. I mean, it's 51 Bowman, but, you know, 52 tops, that's the, that's the iconic card to get. So,
Wait, where's Mike?
Right here.
Mike's just staring at us, listening.
Okay. I was like, is Mike even on the line?
I'm here. I'm letting you two girls talk amongst yourselves.
Like, I feel like you're the host, and there's just like two guests that are just rambling on.
You know, just call me Jimmy Fallon or whatever, hosting the Tonight Show. But so what all did you? So you had one guy come up and recognize you?
Yeah, it was weird. Like, there was one guy that got like it was as soon as I got there too. He's from Boston. This guy named Andrew, and he was so excited to like meet me, and I was like, "Wow, is this how it's going to be the rest of the day?" I was like,
and then they disappeared.
Yeah, so, and then I go, you know, I was like, I got to check out the show, you know, like I know it's exciting to meet me, you know, whatever. But I was like, I need to, I need to check. And then I was there at the show for another 4 hours, and nobody else recognized me. And I had my fanny pack on and everything.
The sexy red fanny pack.
But,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, look, we all can't be baseball collector and walk around and get discovered by mobs of people.
Whatever.
If I had the Hall of Fame patch on, I think it would have been a different story.
Well, Here's your patch right here. I got it right here for
Oh,
you. I'll just rub it in that I haven't sent it
if
to
I
you.
had the Hall of Fame patch on, people would have been like, you know what? Now this is something that's special.
Whatever.
But
That's coming up again, by the way. We're going to have to vote. We're going to have another vote here in a few months.
Mike, didn't you say that you had like 40 people recognize you at the National?
Yeah, it was a lot.
That was in an hour, Joe. That was just in an hour.
No, that was over.
Wow,
That was over the 3 days. That was total, probably.
That's pretty awesome, though.
It was nice.
By the way, I do have a theory as to why you got 12 dislikes.
Okay, tell me.
Or whatever it was.
I want to hear. Did you?
I think that there's people that there's a lot of like no BS kind of people that have no time for comedy. Like they just they turn on your videos. They want to learn, like they want to just watch baseball cards, maybe learn a little bit about baseball. And there's just people that they don't want to see like jokes and like, you know, and they tune into your channel and they expect to see baseball cards.
Right.
I think that's why you got 12 dislikes.
I think that's true. I think when you have, you know, there's some people that are going to think it's funny, and then I guess there's some people that are, you know, they like you said, they're real serious, very, very straightforward. Like this is what they want to see. They want to see the cards, and that's it. And who knows? I mean, it's not for everybody, and that's what I was thinking of. The same thing is that, you know, we're like, you know, baseball collectors. We're kind of, I hate to use the word, we're kind of geeks, you know, and I admit it. So when we get to something that's a little bit funny, they don't get it. Some people just don't get it.
Well, I take responsibility for that video if you got 12 dislikes, because I totally encouraged you to do that. Mike had like this idea, and I was like, "Oh, you totally have to do it." And I loved it, but I was surprised to see 12 dislikes.
You know,
but yeah, that was a lot. That was a shock.
I have to say, it wasn't even my idea. It was Garrett's idea, Card Cutter.
Oh, okay.
He had the idea because he knows what a good sport Julie is. I mean, it only works if Julie is a willing participant, right? And
right.
She's so supportive, and you know, she just went with it and had a great time. But did you watch it, Joe? Have you seen it yet? So,
yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was hilarious.
So
but the dislike definitely threw me off. I was like, what the heck is what's with that? But you know, but I thought it was awesome.
Well, the comments were off the charts. Like, they thought it was funny, and everybody's like, this is the best collab video. Like, Caesar was like, Pepino Man, best collab video ever.
He's definitely going to love it.
So, I guess haters, we're spending way too much time talking about this, I think, but...
well, it's an interesting concept, because you guys know, I have videos out there that I've done that have much more than 12 dislikes, and it's because, you know, like, you know, I've gone outside the normal boundaries of, you know, like the most ridiculous baseball cards, but at the same time, you know, like they've gotten like tens of thousands of views. So are people really disliking it, or like is it because I tricked them in the name of the video? Like,
oh, you hit it right on the nose, Joe. I was telling Mike this the day of the Baseball Hall of Fame. I did a video, just a recap of me watching the Hall of Fame ceremonies and all that, and I really wasn't trying to do what my son calls clickbait, and I never even heard of that.
Clickbait, right?
I never even heard of that. And he's only 11. He's like, "Oh, you clickbait." I'm like, "Why?" I had no idea, because my title of the video said 2018 National Baseball Hall of Fame ceremony. So I had 1,500 views in the first few hours. That's like 5 months worth on one video for me.
Right.
It's more than that. And I had this in the first few hours, and I'm thinking, oh, you know why? The title of my video, and I really wasn't trying to, you know, try and do that. That's what the title of my video was. I was just doing a recap. And I told Mike the next day, I'm like, oh my God, I woke up this morning, there's almost 2,000 views on that freaking video.
And it was timely.
So, yeah,
I mean, you did it.
The title.
And it was timely. You did it in the right, it was that day, right? So
yeah.
People are going to go look for that stuff. It's just like my national videos that got lots of views because I did them that day, every day, you know, and I think people were just eager for content. If you weren't there, you wanted to feel like you were there. So, yeah, I wouldn't call it clickbait, Ray. It's just creative titling and good timing. I mean, that's not, you know, it's no big deal. So.
Oh, no, I mean, like I said, it was done by pure accident. And, but it did have you think, you know, as far as like how to try and maybe steer more traffic, I guess is the word, you know, as to, because they have, when you create the videos, you know, there's tags on there that you can put on there that people are searching for, and, you know, maybe it does help a little bit to get people to look for your channel. Like if you just put, I don't know, 300 great baseball cards, people might not be looking for that. So try and put something like PSA graded cards or whatever.
Speaking of
title,
which,
like, you know,
let me do some clickbait right now. Mark from Kentucky just got on, and Mark's going to be my next guest on Beyond Cardboard next Sunday, a week from tomorrow, on the 26th. And he doesn't even know it yet because he doesn't have the. Well, he knows it. He gave me a couple of dates, and that's going to be when it is. Mark is August 26th. We'll do it that Sunday night. So be sure to look for Beyond Cardboard starting back up, and I got a few guys lined up. Snoop's going to do it, and I'm still waiting on Snoop to get back with me with a date that he can do it. He's going to look it up, and who else is going to do it? Oh, darn it. Well, I'll think of it later, but I'm starting to line them up again. So you guys have both been guests, so that's a good show, right? I think, maybe.
I was wondering, like, when was the last time you did that show?
Before National.
I feel like it's been, okay, it was before National? Wow.
Yeah. So it's been a while, and I need to get back going again on it. So people like it. It's a good way to get to know other people. So in our growing, blossoming community. And I think since the last time I did Beyond Cardboard, I've got like 400 or 500 more subs. So I need to show them what that's all about, I guess. So Ray, you want to talk about, we're at almost 40 minutes, and this is literally shooting the bull because we have accomplished nothing during this conversation. And Mike O wants to know who else is on. So we got Mike O right now, and Joe, Silver Jackify. So he'll say peace later. My nephews are watching. So what's up, Tyler and Cole in Nashville? How are y'all doing? Anyway,
that is one of the coolest parts about YouTube is like every once in a while I'll get like a comment from somebody from like, you know, some country I've never even heard of before. I love that. I love that. It's like every once in a while it'll be. Mike, you ever look at like the views at like from the different countries?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is so cool. Like the breakdown. There are countries that I've never even heard of before that have watched like, you know, maybe like a minute of one of my videos from like 2 years ago, and I'm like so excited to see that.
Like who cares about this stuff in Indonesia, or
right.
You know, you're like,
exactly.
Really?
I've got views from like Zimbabwe, and I'm like,
right.
It's weird. All right, last topic is I want to try to keep this at around an hour. We don't want to make people completely bored, but we'll keep talking if people have good questions. What you want to talk about the topic you wanted to discuss?
The old players versus the modern.
Yeah, so tell everybody how that came up, and I'm going to go grab a water bottle while you're talking. So go ahead.
Well, we were just talking about. I heard this on an episode. I think it was on Sports Talk Radio, and they were just trying to compare a vintage kind of player versus a more modern player as to who was better. So, for example, they were trying to compare Roberto Clemente to Mike Trout, or they were trying to compare Lou Gehrig to Albert Pujols. And, a lot of people will have a tendency to gear first and foremost towards the vintage player because they're more, legendary and iconic, but the numbers for like Albert Pujols compared to Lou Gehrig at first base is pretty unbelievable. I know Gehrig had some remarkable numbers. Mike was rolling off some numbers that Gehrig was doing the other day, but Albert Pujols has got to be considered. And a lot of people have Gehrig at first, number one for first baseman of all time, but Pujols has to get some consideration. And if you compare Trout to Clemente or Willie Mays to Ken Griffey Jr., a lot of people I think are going to go towards the vintage, but I would take a strong look at the more modern player compared to those. They would definitely give them a run for the money. It might be better.
What do you think, Joe? We lost Joe.
No. What is the question?
Oh, great.
Well, the question is they were just going position. A vintage player versus a more modern player, like say for center field, would you pick Mays or would you pick Griffey Jr.? For first base, would you pick Gehrig or would you pick Albert Pujols?
Or Joe at first base, you could do.
If my life depends on it, I'm taking the modern player. And I don't think there's any way that a vintage player would ever be able to play with the players from today. I mean, think about it. I mean, the players from today, they throw over 100 miles per hour.
Yep.
Back then, they'd be lucky to hit, even in the 80s or 90s, Nolan Ryan hitting 100 miles per hour was like unheard of back then, and now everyone throws 100.
Right.
I don't think Babe Ruth would have any chance against the players from today. But it's all relative. So it depends on how you look at it. But yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna bet on players, for my life, I'm honestly taking all guys that are literally playing either today or from like 10 years ago.
Right.
I think you'd be crazy to not. But to each his own. But I there's no way that any of I just don't think that anybody from like 50, 60 years ago would be able to. They wouldn't be prepared for the type of pitching that they're about to see.
Right.
There have been pitches that have been invented that that didn't
weren't invented back then, right?
Right. Like the cutter, everyone's throwing the cutter now.
The split finger fastball. I mean, could you picture Babe Ruth facing Bob Gibson?
Ooh.
Yeah, it obviously Babe Ruth was. It's funny because I consider Babe Ruth as the greatest baseball player of all time. But with that being said, if I was to pick 9 players to play for my team right now, there's no way Ruth is going to be one of the guys that I choose. So
right.
It's
good
kind
point.
of a funny thing. So.
What about if we compared?
Mike was rolling off Lou Gehrig's numbers were unbelievable, and I know his career was shortened by the illness, but it is what it is, what his numbers were. And they're remarkable. I mean, Gehrig's numbers, Mike was telling me the other night, I mean, they're unbelievable numbers.
They are.
I mean, just phenomenal numbers. But, I do take into consideration the kind of pitching and everything else in consideration, what he was facing compared to what Albert Pujols has done. To me, it's a no-brainer. I'm picking Albert Pujols at first base.
What about
that's just.
What about comparing some other great first basemen? Like, you could say equal guys, JT Snow, Don Mattingly. They're about equal, right? And like Travis Lee. Right, Joe?
What? Travis, where are you going with that?
I'm just trying to bust.
Are you just trying to you're just trying to make me angry.
I am trying to make Joe angry.
Mattingly?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because Joe's favorite player is Mattingly.
Yes. Joe, Don Mattingly equals Mitch Moreland or something like that.
Mitch Moreland.
So okay.
One name that I heard over and over and over at the show today was Miguel Andujar. Just wanted to make a point of that. People like, of course this is in New York, but people are all over Miguel Andujar over in New York. That was the name that I heard over and over and over again, of people being like, "Oh, what's the price on this card? What's the price on this card?" So just keep an eye on and he went 3 for 5 today. He was a triple short of the cycle.
All right.
Yeah, they put some statistic about him today. He's only like the second Yankee rookie to have 20 homers and 30 doubles or something like that in the rookie season. Right.
After Joe DiMaggio.
Right.
That's pretty good company.
Absolutely.
All right.
Definitely.
Who do you guys like? Everybody throw in your vote, and you guys can talk about it. Who's your AL and NL rookies of the year right now?
Rookies?
Yeah.
Wow.
We'll go through. We'll do a little awards discussion.
I'm gonna go Miguel Andujar. I think he's gonna win the AL, and I know that everybody's been going with Soto all year, but I'm gonna go with Ronald Acuna.
That's who I was thinking.
Who I had picked at the beginning of the year. If anybody watched my video of 10 cards for under $30, I had picked Ronald Acuna to win NL Rookie of the Year because I didn't know who was going to win AL Rookie of the Year. So I was like, you know what, NL Rookie of the Year, I'm going to go Ronald Acuna, and he's been on a tear recently. So I'm going to go with Acuna and Andujar.
Well, I didn't have a pick for the American League, but my National League was Acuna. But I'm hearing today that it might be not Acuna, that it could be Ozzy Albies from the same team.
The Braves are stacked.
Absolutely.
Braves are stacked with young talent.
I'm going to go with Acuna just because I think he just, and I understand people, they love Gleyber Torres as well.
Yeah.
He has more talent than Andujar, but Andujar's just on a tear right now, man.
What about
I guess, but anyway.
What about AL and NL MVPs?
Those are 2 great picks. I have no problem with Acuna.
Who are your MVPs right now?
Well, to me, in the American League, I don't know why JD Martinez isn't getting. I mean, his numbers are monstrous. And same with Jose Ramirez from Cleveland.
Yeah.
But everybody's talking about Mookie Betts.
Yeah. Dude, Betts is, I hate it. As a Yankee fan, do you have any idea how horrible this season is? To watch the Red Sox become this, honestly, the Yankees celebrated today their 20th anniversary of the 1998 Yankees that won 115 games. And I'm watching as the Red Sox literally might eclipse that. They've just been unbelievable this year. And JD Martinez and Mookie Betts are honestly, one of the two. I go Mookie Betts, but if it was up to me, but...
Yeah, I like Martinez, but they're saying Betts has a higher WAR percentage and all these other sabermetrics they're taking into consideration. So Betts was probably going to get it. Although Jose Ramirez he's getting stolen bases, he's hitting for power, he's not getting any attention in Cleveland. To me, it's Martinez or Ramirez, but who I think is going to get it, I think it's going to be Betts. And in the National League, I don't know why Nolan Arenado is not getting enough attention, but I'm hearing Javier Baez is the guy that's going to be getting it from the Cubs.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know who's proven to be... He's not going to get any votes, but the guy to me that's proving that he's the most valuable player is Jose Altuve. Look at what the Astros have done since he went down. They have gone to the crapper. And so he's proving to be valuable, and Trout's not going to win. Altuve's not going to win. They both missed too much time. So sadly, but well, don't you think the Red Sox will split some votes between JD and Mookie? I think that's going to happen.
Yep.
Which could allow for God, who else did we just
Jose
say?
Ramirez to get in.
For Cleveland, and he's having a monster freaking year, right?
He's having a great year. 37 homers. He's already got like 93 RBIs and like 30 stolen bases. And
what about?
I saw the JD Martinez 2011 Topps update for $20 today raw. I think that's a pretty good investment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you guys know you guys know that Trout update. 2011 Topps Trout update has been going crazy this year. It's actually been kind of a phenomenon in the baseball card world. The Trout update. I think Ray, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
I mentioned well, actually in November I bought the 2011 Topps update PSA 10 silver, like the
diamond. Yeah.
Right. That I bought that for $900. I've seen it sell for as much as $3,000.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, and I bought that in November. And it's selling for like, I don't know if it still is selling for that much, but
9 months later.
Type of return on, like, good luck trying to find that type of return on investment on anything.
Right.
But he's had a fantastic year, but he's it's another similar Trout year where he's fantastic when he's on the field, but he gets injured.
He gets injured a lot, right? And he's been injured now. This is his third time since last year, and it's all the same injuries. Sliding head first, where he hurts his finger last year. This year, he slid head first again, hurt another finger. This year, another sliding injury where he hurts his hand. And I'm like, that's scary to me. Like, to invest that kind of money into a player that, I don't know. It's
Well, let me tell you all my theory. So I think you're saying you saw the card today for $20, right, for a Martinez, Joe?
JD Martinez, yeah.
So,
JD Martinez.
no, you could go
a raw base. Yeah.
Okay, great. So you could go buy. Let's just say you wanted to get him slabbed a 9 or a 10 or whatever. Great.
Yeah.
I would add up. I would say I'm not going to do any. People, well, why don't you do it now? Because what if they get in the Hall? Well, if you add up all the players you should have bought because they were on a home run or a Hall of Fame pace you would own a lot of Kevin Moss rookies and Darryl Strawberries and point being, I'll wait. I could spend all the money on the maybes, and it will equal only the 1 or 2 guys that I actually have to buy when they get in the Hall of Fame. So, for sure, I'm the 2 big cards I'm looking for right now are the 2008 Kershaw and Scherzer. I think they're both Hall of Famers right now. If they could not ever pitch again, and they would be in the Hall of Fame under the Sandy Koufax logic. And those are 2 cards I'm really going after. But to me, Scherzer's the NL Cy Young right now, hands down. In fact, he might even be the NL MVP. Although Jacob deGrom has a lot to say about that in terms of the NL Cy Young. But Scherzer's just so much better than everyone else. And then...
Well, I just bought the 2005 Topps Justin Verlander rookie.
Yeah, Verlander's going to get in. He's a Hall of Famer.
He just got his 200th career win, and he's only 34 years old. See, that's what I'm looking at. I mean, to me, I try not to go too early into a player, like after 4 years or so. It's just a little early. I mean, I look at 3,000 hits as a benchmark. To me, if they have, say, 1,500 hits by the age of 30, that's a benchmark. Like Jose Altuve for me is definitely on pace for that. For 500 homers, I look at guys with 250 homers by 30. And I was telling Joe earlier tonight, a guy that I would buy right now is Stanton, because his next homer is his 300th career homer, and he's not 30 years old yet.
It doesn't matter, though. That's the problem, Ray. I think as good as Stanton has been, that if you invest in him, you're taking a significant risk. Again, look at Darryl Strawberry's prime example, right? Just before age 30, he looked like he was going to break every record there was. And then, started sniffing a little too much cocaine, and there he goes. But point being, guys will fall off. They get hurt. You never know. And Hall of Fame equals great numbers and typically longevity. Not always, but you've either got to be incredibly dominant for a short period of time, like Koufax was, or you got to, compile numbers and do it over a 15, 18, 20-year period.
Right.
Yeah.
But I just want to say I 100% agree with you. But that's like you saying to me to not play craps anymore. Like, I love playing craps. Like,
right.
It's just, you know what I mean? Like, I think there's a lot of people, a lot of collectors out there that love, like, they love to gamble. There's something about, just, putting all their money on red or black and just seeing, like, how it plays
and watch them play it out, right?
Yeah, and I totally, like, you're speaking like the elderly scholar that that's been around the block and knows what he's talking about, and I 100% agree with you. But I think there's a lot of people out there that just enjoy the ride. You know what I mean? Like, they put $100 down, they put $200 down on one guy that they really, really like in hopes that they're going to be the next Mike Trout or they're going to be the next Willie Mays. And there's something fun about being right. Like, I was, just as an example, I bought that the reason why I brought up Miguel Andujar earlier is I bought a Miguel Andujar blue auto numbered to 150 for $50 about a year and a half ago, right? So I bought it, and you guys know I'm a huge Yankees fan, and there's been nothing that has been more satisfying. Like, I can't even tell you. That's been more satisfying within my baseball card collection to watch this guy go from a nobody that nobody's ever heard of before to become this stud player. And I have this blue auto in a PSA 10 that has gone from a $50 card to probably a $1,000 card. And there's just something about it. Listen, I've been wrong about many players before, but being on this ride with Miguel Andujar and watching him become the favorite for the American League Rookie of the Year has been so much fun. I can't even, there are cards, you guys know, I'm always buying big cards. You guys know I just bought the 1933 Gaudy rookie Lou Gehrig. But while that is fucking awesome, there's nothing like the ride of just like this Miguel Andujar that I bought for $50. $50. And now that card is like in a PSA 10 is worth probably $1,000 right now. It's been so much fun to watch this guy become exactly what I thought he was going to become, and being like, see, I told you guys, you should have.
Right.
And even from you guys, if you watch my YouTube channel, like, I've been talking about Andujar, I've been talking about Judge for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And now to be right about these guys, it makes me feel pretty awesome. And
that's the whole fun about collecting.
Right.
When I started in the late 80s, I mean, this before graded cards were out, all I did was, I used to go to a show that I hang with at a friend of mine at my LCS, and back then he only bought vintage cards. And to me, I was like, why are you buying it? Vintage guys, they've already played their career, they're already in the Hall of Fame, they're not going to go any higher. They've already complete. I buy the current players and buy what I call speculative buying, where you want to see the guy grow into. Why not get the player now cheap for $5 and $10, and then watch him grow into this 3,000 hit member, 500? Like, I used to buy tons of Will Clarks and Cansecos and Juan Gonzalez rookies, and you're buying them for cheap, $5, $10, $20, and then you're rooting for them. That's incredibly a lot of fun doing that. That's all I did back in that time, was just buying cards of current players that you thought were an investment. But you know, it all depends. Like with the Stanton rookie, if it's not an outrageous price, if it's $50, it's not a high risk, especially for a guy that's closing on 300 homers before the age of 30. He's well on pace to get to 500. Not to mention he plays for a major market team with the Yankees. So,
okay,
if you can get a guy like that for a cheap price, why not?
Yeah, I just want to say that actually, the funny thing is I actually agree with Mike. I think Mike is 100% right on. Like, why put your money into that gamble? You know, like why not just Mike's betting on short things. You know what I mean? Like why put your money in, like your hard-earned money into these gambles? You know, when you can put your money into sure things, like, you know, there are guys that have completed their careers that are Hall of Fame guys. I find it despicable, to be honest with you, that there are, like, you can buy in certain cases, like the fact that there are Miguel Andujar rookie autos selling for, you know, $2,000, $3,000, whatever it might be. I might be over exaggerating, but, or even let's say Mike Trout, a guy that hasn't completed his career, and there are, you know, his autographs selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I can buy a 1933 Gaudi Ruth in a PSA 4 or 5 for a couple of $1,000s. I actually find that to be kind of disrespectful in some weird way.
It's depressing.
But it happens. Yeah, the price that people are willing to pay doesn't always make sense. But I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this.
No, I'm totally 100% a vintage buyer. I don't invest into current players whatsoever. I was just saying on an example of Stanton, if it's not a high risk investment, like right now, I wouldn't buy the Trout rookie for $600 because like I said 2 weeks ago, we had Mike O, and me and Mike were on, and I was debating whether or not to sell my Trout because I bought the card for $120, and my philosophy was, if you have a current player right now that's going through the roof and his price is going up, sell it, because I'm not into modern players that much, because like I said, they can get arrested tomorrow for this, they can go to jail for that, they can break a leg, they can get hurt, and that's it. And then they could be Mark McGwire from the 85 Tops, where I remember going to shows, and he was raw in 1998 when he was going for the record. He was raw $200, $250, and now you can find his card in the $5 box.
Hey, Nate's on the line here, so be careful. That's touchy for him.
For who?
Nate, he's watching, so be careful.
No, I'm just saying, for an example, there's players out there that you have to be careful of, that instead of going all crazy and spending $200, and they tank.
All right.
Like I would never go involved and buy a card for Trout right now with a pop report of like 8,000 on Gem and 10s, and he's not on a major market team. He's not going to win a World Series. He constantly gets hurt. He's been hurt 3 times, and to pay $600 for a Trout, I wouldn't do it. I would rather put my money into a vintage card where, you know, even if it goes up 5% or 2% a year, it depends on the player, and not all vintage is like that. But if the vintage card is a certain player, like a Ruth, a Gehrig, or a DiMaggio, Ted Williams, yeah, I would much rather do that. But if there's a current player that you can get for on the cheap, that, you know, 2 years ago I bought a Jose Altuve rookie in a Gem Mint 10 for like $40.
Okay.
So that to me wasn't really a high.
Great example, Ray, because then I bought one a few weeks ago, maybe right before the National, maybe, and I paid about $100. So big hairy deal, meaning I waited a little bit longer because I wanted to see more out of him. And Joe, I got a big question for you. So you've made this great payoff in the Andujar, right? Are you going to sell it? Because
I should.
if you don't sell it, you're a fool. And I don't mean that meanly. I just mean it like, dude, you could take that 1,000 or whatever, 2,000, whatever you could get for it, and go buy
better vintage cards.
Buy better vintage cards, or just another base Andujar Rook, autograph. Great, fine, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's a fantastic point. And like, I've actually, you guys know, I've never actually sold. I've never sold a single card in my entire collection. Like, I've given away a lot of cards, in which case, like, I have a video that I need to. Like, I literally spent my entire day looking for cards for other people as part of my giveaway. But anyway, I mean, I really should, and I am 100% agree with you. So it's really a matter of seeing if I can get the right price for it. But if I can, you're 100% right. Now is the time, especially if this guy wins Rookie of the Year. It's going to be at the highest price that it will ever be.
Yes, you have to sell it.
Unless it becomes a superstar.
Logan Richmond just said, sell it and invest in younger players and repeat. That's all great until you crap out. If you want to use the craps analogy, you can ride it until you throw a 7, and
but I actually have a point about that real quick. I apologize, but
no, go.
So I was at you guys know I was at the East Coast National today, right? So
right.
This guy had a bin, right? Of it was I think it was 4 autograph cards for $10, and it was a bin full of Bowman Chrome autos. Like, and like if any of you guys bust open Bowman Chrome autos, sometimes it like you'll open up a box for $100 to get one guaranteed autograph.
Right.
And this guy was selling four autographs for $10. So just to give you an example of like the risk that you are taking.
Right.
And I ended up buying just for the hell of it, I ended up buying like 5 or 6 of these autographs for I think like $2 a piece. And it's just a perfect example of like the risk that you are taking with these like future upcoming, like the next, like because I think everyone's like, oh well, maybe I'll hit the jackpot, with the next Mike Trout. There was even a Fultonowicz.
Yeah.
For the.
Oh yeah.
Mike Fulton.
He's having a fantastic year, and I got his autograph for $2, like his Bowman Platinum auto for like $2. It's just amazing. It really is amazing. Like, just like what's happened with the industry. Like, you're taking that risk, and you're like, there are so many more cases where you're going to like get nothing versus get Miguel Andujar for $1,000. But yeah, you're right. I should totally take that money, take that card, sell it. It's going to be difficult for me to do because I love, as a Yankee fan, I love Andujar. I love what he's doing right now. But you're right, Mike. It's probably the right time to sell.
You know what it is too, Joe? It's like when you see a card like that go high, we're afraid to get rid of it because you think, well, how high can it really go?
Right.
If I get rid of it now, what if it goes up to 3 or 4 or 5? And that's the whole thing. That's the whole like that drives you mentally crazy.
Yeah.
People. Then you could run the risk of like, I held on to it too long. The guy broke his leg. Now it's $5.
Well, and on top of that, you guys know, like I brag sort of to a certain extent about how I've never sold any of my cards. So, like to now go ahead and sell, some of my cards, it almost feels like a sellout in a weird way.
Well, you don't.
Well, I don't look at it that way. I look at it as like
upgrading,
cashing in on something that was a great investment and turning it around for something, a better investment. Like getting a vintage card, like what, like a Gehrig or something like that you know is a surefire thing that every year it's just going to just go up and up and up. I think it's a smart move. I think that's a great idea.
So I deal with this all the time, this mentality in my business, because as a financial planner, people buy a stock and they get lucky and it goes up and they don't want to sell. They're like, well, what if it goes higher? I'm like, my mantra is I never got fired taking a profit. And so you have to have a sell discipline with everything, including cards. Unless now somebody look, none of the three of us, I know the three of us have the same mentality. We're not in this for the money. It is a hobby, and to that end, it's I would buy every card that I want for $1 if I could. I don't want to pay the money that I have to pay to get them. I don't care what they cost, what they're worth. I want them to be worth something. I'm putting effort and time into it, but on the same breath, it's the nostalgia, the history, the art, all of it goes into that beyond the value. And to me, I don't know if y'all saw Garrett's video today. He opened a box of Tier 1 from last year, and he would have been better off. Whatever he paid for that box, he could have given me half the money. I could have kicked him in the nuts, and he'd be better off. And that is true 90 whatever percent of the time. And you know, these guys busting boxes and all that, that's great, that's fine, but you can't look at it as that's not an investment. That's like torching your money, taking it and literally putting it on fire. And that's, if you choose to do that, knock it yourself out, great. You're just not going to ever see me doing it, because I don't enjoy that. I don't enjoy the aspect of, oh, let's get a Tyler Naquin autograph. I'm trying to think of some scrub, you know, who's in all, like Sean Newcomb or some, you know, crap autograph you're going to get. And like 2 years ago, it was Aaron Nola was in every product in the world. Now he turns out to be a pretty good pitcher. Walker Buehler, you know, is in every product now. And like, I'll watch all these.
That's the funny thing, Mike, is like, Aaron, you know, these guys that have turned out to be really good pitchers, even the great pitchers are not worth that much, you know.
Yeah.
You know, even if you're right about your predictions.
You can get an Aaron Nola rookie autograph for $10. So
yeah, I've experienced this with Chris Bryant, because you know I was right about Chris Bryant. I liked his swing. He ended up winning the MVP in the National League. He ended up winning the first World Series ever for the Cubs. And his card is worth less than it was when I bought it. It's
right.
It really is. It's crazy. Like, I was right. I was like, you know what? I like Chris Bryant. There's something about, I like this swing. You know, there was something about, like, I have an eye for that type of stuff. I like, actually, you know, it brings me back to Cody Bellinger last year during spring training. I was like, man, Cody Bellinger has nice swing. So I invested in you know, Chris Bryant a couple of years ago, and then Cody Bellinger, and I was right. But it's funny because Chris Bryant cards have actually gone down. Like, you know, it's like people have moved on to the next big hype. You know what I mean? Like they were paying big dollars for Chris Bryant, and then they moved on to Aaron Judge. Now they've moved on to Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Right? Who's really hot now too, right?
Yeah, it's really. And Miguel Andujar might be one of those guys, especially if he wins Rookie of the Year.
I was about to say,
like, how people.
You're totally talking yourself into selling that Andujar card, because you're just making a case where you would be silly not to sell it. Oh, you're giving great examples of why you should sell your Andujar card.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I look at it this way. There's no right or wrong way to collect. People enjoy collecting singles. That's fine. People enjoy injecting boxes. That's great. There's no right or wrong way. I enjoy doing boxes with my son. Keeps him involved with the current players. And it's fun because you got to remember how the hobby originally started wasn't buying singles. It was opening packs. And the singles, that cards that we were investing in, they came from packs. They came from boxes. So that will never go away. And I think it's fun too. Actually, it's good to connect with your kids and opening packs and opening boxes.
Hey Ray, I have a question for you. Since
Yeah.
you brought up Ray.
Mm-hmm.
I was curious. Like, is Ray the only kid that collects? Like, does he have friends that collect? I was wondering about that. Like, about the next generation.
I don't know. I haven't never really asked him if any of his friends are collecting into cards. That's and I know where you're going because are kids collecting cards today? I don't know. I hang at my LCS store every Saturday, and there's a ton of kids in there all the time. So, and I asked my friend who owns the store, and he sells more packs than he does singles. There's single vintage cards in his display cases that I've seen in there literally for years. And the packs will always outsell the singles. I know the singles are worth more money,
right?
But he's buying cases left and right because kids are coming in buying packs.
And I'll tell you,
that'll never go away. I mean, that's always going to be there, and it's a fun connection with your son, with your child. It's
the National.
I mean, I think it's a cool thing.
The National was full of kids. There were tons of them there. I wasn't really paying attention to what they were buying or what they were doing. And look, I'm not saying busting a box of Top Series 1 or Archives or any of this stuff is a bad thing. I just don't think you should do it with the idea of all the high-end stuff. You are going to get creamed in value. I mean, you're just going to get taken to Pound Town, and they're not going to use any lube or anything. They're just going to full fist you with, and you're going to get.
How you really feel,
dude. It's bad. And these suckers, there's people out there just doing it left and right, buying case. It's Ricky Russo buys case after case, and all of the titles of his video. Oh, Ricky's taking it in the rear again. Yeah, no kidding.
Right.
Stop doing it.
Right.
And you won't take. I mean,
I would love to get in the head of somebody like him. That's like why continue to, It's like it's the isn't it the definition of insanity?
Do the same thing over again and expect different results.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it, but because you guys know, like, I think all three of us that are on the phone, like, unfortunately, we all have the same perspective. I every once in a while, just for the hell of it, I'll bust open a pack or a box. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to spend big money, I'm going to do it on vintage.
Actually, Joe, what you do, Joe, is actually not if you want to kind of open some packs and scratch that itch a little bit, you do the card crate, right? And so you pay
right.
$35 a month or $50, whatever it is. It's not a ton of money, and you get a sampling of different product, and you may get lucky and hit a. You never make your money back, do you? Ever? Like, you never... No, ever.
I don't. And I've actually done very well with the crates, actually. I feel like I've in terms of how I've done, I'm probably in the 75 percentile in terms of the crate. And even with that being said, I haven't made my money back. It's been a lot of fun, but with that being said, it's not something, in terms of an investment, not something I would normally think that it's a good idea to continue to do.
But I think that's cool. I mean, I think it's cool to do something like that. But man, I've said my piece. I don't need to do it again. But hey, guys, it's been like it's like 80. Oh, Bink Scott, Gary asks, "Do we sell?" The answer is for all three of us, Gary. No, none of us are sellers. Unless you want to sell, Ray wants to sell his Jim Mint 10 Mike Trout, and Joe wants to sell his Miguel Andujar Blue Refractor rookie. So if anybody's out interested, let them know. But no, we don't sell. That's why you need to be smart about how you spend your money. Because if I'm not selling stuff to buy more stuff, I only have so much money to go around. And so a lot of guys will sell stuff to buy other things, and they kind of flip's not the right word. They just cycle through card money. I don't. Everything is in the beast over here. It's not, doesn't leave. And so I can't just throw away money on boxes that I wouldn't sell anyway. Even if I pulled a XYZ, if I pulled a 1-of-1 out of some Topps 5-star or 1-of-1 Hall of Famer autograph, I'm keeping it, which is the only way I would ever make money on the product. So I'd rather just go buy the autograph and spend that money on the cards I want. So
yeah,
man, all right, broken record, done. We're at 80 minutes.
Mike, wait, one more point I just want to make is with modern cards, the game of hot potato. That really is usually what the case is. One guy gets it, and they sell it to the next guy, sell it to the next guy, sell it to the next. You just don't want to be the guy that, nobody wants to be the guy that's left with the hot potato in their hand, right?
Right.
Because then you lose the game, and that's what modern cards are. You don't want to be the guy stuck with the hot potato, because if you are, you're going to end up losing. If you're a guy like Ray or Mike or myself, who are more of like guys that like to hold on to their cards and don't sell them, buying modern cards is a bad idea, because you end up sitting with the hot potato because you don't sell your card. But with that being said, if you're somebody that is willing to get on eBay and has no problem with getting your card on eBay and selling it at the right time, then don't listen to anything that Ray and Mike or myself have to say, because we're full of crap. Because there is without a doubt, there is money to be made in the modern baseball card, out there. It's just a matter of just don't be the guy sitting with the hot potato. Don't be the guy with the Miguel Andujar, 10 years from now, when nobody gives a crap about Miguel Andujar and it's selling for $20 a piece. Be the guy that's selling it now when he's about to be Rookie of the Year. Be the guy that's selling it when the card is hot. That is really what it comes down to.
That's what it comes down to, exactly. That's the reason why I want to sell my Trout rookie, because I bought the card for $120, and to turn around and sell it for $600. The thing is, if I do that, I got to have the philosophy of no regret. I can't sit there and then sell it and then have regret about it, thinking, oh, what if it gets to $900? What if it gets to $1,500? No, it could drop to 10 tomorrow. With current players, they can fall, get hurt. They can like I said, there's social media out there. These guys are under the radar, like unbelievable. They fart different, and then they're in the news the next day, and they're in jail, and then all of a sudden you don't know with current players. That's why my philosophy is, and me and my friend that hang at the LCS, the kids will come up to us and ask us about certain current players, and I got a Shohei Ohtani. When that thing was going for $650, we looked at the kid and we said, sell it tonight. Sell it tonight, because you don't know what this dude's going to do 2 years from now, 4 years from now. You have no idea. If you have a chance to make a lot of money on a current player that could be nobody a year from now, do it. Absolutely.
You know what it comes down to, and what we're dancing around this, and I think I just put my brain on what it is. Because you were talking about it, Ray, you're talking about it, Joe, and it comes down to emotional investment, not monetary investment, but emotional investment. I don't buy if I had no emotional investment, I'd sell the card tomorrow. I don't care. I don't buy stuff that I don't have some emotional attachment to, or I wouldn't have bought it in the first place. And so you have an emotional attachment to Miguel Andujar, no matter how much we tell you, Joe, that you're an idiot if you don't sell it. If that emotional attachment, and I don't mean that mean, it's like your emotional
Right.
attachment's going to be greater than any profit you could get. Even if he turns into nothing, the emotional attachment is so great, just like it is with a Trout rookie for you, maybe just because you feel like he's going to be really good. You still think he's got a good shot for the Hall of Fame, and so that's a great card to own in your collection long term, right? So there's an emotional long term investment that we make in buying and spending our money on what we do. These guys that flip stuff that could give, like, I could do it for football cards or basketball because I could give two shits about any of them, and so I just cussed, I think, for the first time on my channel. So I don't care, and so I could just literally flip them. I would have no emotional investment. I wouldn't care. I'd probably still lose money because you're going to. The house always wins. But I wouldn't mind selling it. But for me, the baseball cards I buy, I have an emotional attachment to. Therefore, we're not putting that into the equation, I don't think, enough of why we make the decisions that we make about our collections, right? So.
Well, yeah, and you do want to. I know everyone's like their first philosophy is always like it's about the hobby, not the investment. And I hate to hear that because to me, you do want it to be an investment. You are spending money, and you do want to see the cards go up in value because not for nothing, but tomorrow could come and certain things could happen in everyday lives that you have to, for some certain reason, have to sell it. Or if you want to leave it to your children who have no clue what they're looking at or don't care about it,
right?
So, they will have to sell it. So, therefore, you do want it to be an investment so that they're not going to keep it. They're not. A lot of kids are not going to have the same love of the game as we do. Some will. I'm hoping my son does. But if he wants to sell it, that's great. He can sell it. But at least if I'm going to spend money on something, I want it that when I'm long gone and he wants to sell it, it's not going to be a waste of his time to get $5 for this or $10 for that. At least it'd be something for him as an investment. So yeah, everyone says, oh, it's a hobby first. I hate when people say, oh, you're in it for the investment. You're not a real collector. It should be for the hobby. Well, no, baloney. You are spending money. You do want it to turn into something. Not that we're all going to be rich off of it. We're not. But you're spending your hard-earned money. You don't want to spend on something that 20 years from now, if you buy a card that's worth $20 today and 20 years from now it's worth $21, you don't want to see that. You want to see some growth on the card.
You guys know my deal with that. Like I've been harping on this on my channel for forever, and I do think I've watched this industry grow since I've been involved in it, and you guys know I've been like just like Ray and Mike over the last 5 to 10 years. I've watched baseball cards, the value of baseball cards grow at an exponential rate that I can't even keep up with, and I've made a point about this on my channel many times that there are cards. I think what's happening, and I think what's happening is that there are so many people that are rediscovering the hobby that are our age. You guys think about the boom that happened back in the 80s and 90s. I think that people are going to have a lot of disposable income and are going to rediscover the hobby now that they're at this point in their life. They're going to have nothing else to do. They're going to be like, well, what am I going to do with these thousands of dollars? People, seriously though, people are like at that point in their life, they're like, what the hell am I going to, should I invest in real estate? Should I invest in stock? Oh, you know what? I'll invest in baseball cards because I got nothing else to do. And I've watched, and I'm being dead serious, guys. I'm not trying to be a dick or
No.
But I've watched cards. And it's actually been kind of frustrating because, from a collector perspective, I've watched, high-end quality cards, double, triple, quadruple, sometimes, even more than that, over the last 5 to 10 years because guys like myself, unfortunately, are doing the same thing as I'm doing, and they're going, well, I always wanted that 52 top nano. I always wanted that Nolan Ryan rookie that I could never afford when I was a kid. And they're going, well, I have all this extra money. What the hell am I going to do with it? Oh, you know what? Instead of investing in stock, let me invest in that card that I've never been able to afford in my entire life. And I'm telling you guys, this is a weird phenomenon that I've watched. Like, what other industry? Like, I saw Cards Infinity the other day, pull a Mike Trout orange auto, and the guy that pulled it was like, he goes, I don't know who this guy is, and the guy ended up selling it for $300. The card is now probably worth like over $100,000. I mean, in what industry are you going to see that type of like return on
Nothing.
investment?
Nothing.
And not only that, but like, what other industry are you going to see? Like, are you going to have this much fun? You know, and you guys have seen this. I've invested in some serious cards. You know, the Babe Ruth, the Lou Gehrig rookie, the Mickey Mail rookie. I don't see this as just collecting, guys. Like, I see this as a way to invest in my future.
Right, absolutely.
Some more than that, like, you know, I'm putting these cards in my safety deposit box so I can pay for my daughter and my son's college. Like, this isn't like, you know, like, I believe in this stuff. So,
right.
You know,
and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's why, you know, it ticks me off when I hear people say, "Oh, you're just, you know, I'm in it for the hobby. You're an investment." No, I am in it for the hobby, but you know, it's a long-term investment. I'm not going to waste anything. You want to pick the right car. You want to pick the right rookie. You want to make sure that it's going to be something that's going to grow. And absolutely.
And one of the things I want to mention, Ray, is that you know, it's not the only, like, you know, I have, you know, money in mutual funds. I have money in bonds and, you know, other stuff. Like, it's just another part of my portfolio. It's like I have money in, you know, in stock. I have money in mutual funds, and I have what I call alternative investments, which is baseball cards.
Well, that's nothing. I think that's not a bad idea. I mean, I watch on Facebook every Wednesday night. Tom Zappola and Rico Petrocelli have a show called The Great American Sports Collectible Show, and I've never missed a week. And Tom, the host of the show, talks about how his son, who's an investor, has now included in his portfolio baseball cards, and he's dead serious. Like, he's investing into like the T206 set and the 33 Gaudy set. And they're not high grades, you know, they're like low grades, 2s, 3s, 4s, whatever. And people are now doing that. It's a lot more than just a hobby, and there's something there if it's done the right way. And there's something there, and I know PWCC has been doing indices. They're doing portfolios now where they're doing a group of cards for certain investment plans. Like, if you want to do. In this group here, this group will have a 54 Hank Aaron with the Banks and a Ted Williams play ball, and they put it all into this one package, and you can invest into this package. It's gotten to that. So, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Absolutely.
All right, guys, let's call it a night. I love talking about everything and shooting the bull. Dude, we'll do it again. It's no big deal. We'll have. It's not the end of the world.
Ready to talk all night about this.
It's been like we've been on for over an hour and a half. So.
Wow.
Time flies, man.
I know. So before Julie kills me, I'm gonna go.
I'm hearing like a buzzing sound.
Oh wait, we don't want to see you get tied up again.
I don't want to get tied up again. That's right.
Well, at first I thought it was a terrorist video. I saw your head with a sack on. I'm like, what's going on?
Was pretty funny. And I do appreciate all the great comments that everybody have given. And so really, I'm grateful. But thanks guys for being on. Thanks Joe for the impromptu addition to Shooting the Bull with Mike and Ray. And man, we had like 50 people on, so that's great. Thanks guys for joining, and we'll do another
man.
Shooting the Bull soon. And you guys take care. And
all right, man.
We'll talk to you. I want to say anything to everybody, real quick.
Keep on collecting. Love the hobby. Have fun. Make a lot of money.
What's up, Eric? Eric, I finally see Eric's comment at the very end. But all right, well, y'all be good, and we'll talk to you later.
Guys.
See ya.
Take care.
All right.